Tropical storm Hattie was first categorized as a hurricane after passing very near San Andres Island, where a station recorded its pressure and classified it as a hurricane. Throughout the days that followed, its intensity increased until it became a Category 5 hurricane by late October 30th. Hattie was the strongest measured hurricane in the Northwest Caribbean until Hurricane Mitch in 1998. Hurricane Hattie made landfall in Belize City on October 31st, with winds unofficially estimated at over 150 miles per hour. Belizean historian Hector Silva told us via phone today what that day was like for him in 1961.
What I can remember is that, like today, at about 4:15 this time, Mr. Eustace Usher from Radio Belize began coming, but at a fast pace. Where are you going, Eustace? He said, this Hattie hurricane is coming to Belize. It came while everybody started running, getting preparations and everything, kneeling. So many people left, and about 11:15 so, Radio Belize went out there. I was already going by Rockville, going to San Ignacio, and it came so rapidly because it was already a powerful, it was about 160 miles when they announced that it was heading for Belize. And then from there, I left from Belize City because there was no longer any light, and I came to San Ignacio. And on my return back to Belize, I saw that everything looked like when you clean a jungle, all the houses one on top of the other, and there was so many, trash in that area. So the British Army took over and they began to patrol so that when we get there, everything was under the control of the British Army. So that's more or less what I can recall came over this side.
While Mr. Silva didn't come so close to experiencing the fury of the hurricane, another man did. Mr. Alfonso Ramirez lived through the ordeal, and it has found a mark in his memory forever. He has even written a story about the event. Love News visited his home this afternoon, and he recounted his encounter with the force of nature.
Well, I was 11 years old, and I was going to Holy Redeemer. I was in Standard 3. And I remember clearly the day that we went to school on a Monday afternoon after lunch. And immediately we were told by the teacher that you are all going back home because there's a hurricane heading for Belize. And we came back home. And when we got back home, our parents started to get us ready to go into the shelter. And about 6, 7 in the evening, we were taken to the Jubilee Library and Museum on Northfront Street, and that is where we sheltered the hurricane. That struck the Tuesday morning about 1 o'clock. We started to feel winds from Hurricane Hattie, and that's when the devastation of Belize City started. That you really can tell about it when you experience it. It's not like somebody telling you the story. You really have to go through it. We were 3 brothers. I was 11, and then I had my another brother, 10 and 9. And I remember we were put to sleep early in the evening. When I say early, about 9, 10. And about 1 o'clock, our mom woke us up because that's when the hurricane started to hit. And she thought that, we will have to be up because we don't know what will happen. She thought that the building would have blown away or something. So she woke us up. And when we woke up, like I said, we went to sleep in this world and we woke in another. Because the sound of the wind and debris hitting the building and all that, so the walls were visibly shaking, window panes were breaking, doors were flying open. It was a trauma, terrible trauma. Our home, we lived at Newtown Barrack, 150 Newtown Barrack. And when my older brothers went to check on that following later in the day of the hurricane, they found it was almost completely destroyed. In 1998, when we were staring Hurricane Mitch, in the face, and my family saw the action I took, they were surprised. They wanted to know why I was acting so. You know why? Because I know what a hurricane is. I didn't want to put my family through what we had to go through, and it wasn't anybody's fault. In those days, like the hurricane, we got warning, but we didn't really take it serious. Now I notice that our people take hurricane threat very serious.
The hurricane weakened quickly over land and dispersed by November 1st as it moved into the mountains of Guatemala. After all the wreckage wrought by the storm, it is hard to put it past us, at least to show us the strength in the people's hearts to rebuild the country and start anew. As we remember this tragedy, we leave off with the song entitled Hurricane Hattie, recorded in 1962 by Cleveland Berry.
From Puerto Rico it went past Jamaica. Then they said it was heading for Cuba, but like a boomerang, it turned on its course to Belize Island.